Hello and welcome back to Magic in the Muck, a soul's compass for change. I'm Jennifer Nagel and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Today's episode is the natural next step to where we've been these past couple of episodes, our exploration of listening for the body's quieter signals. Because once we start listening inwards, a very human question rises up. And that question is, how do I know if what I'm feeling is intuition or an old pattern? Is this wisdom or fear? A genuine gut sense or a protective response shaped by something long past? If you've ever asked those questions, you're welcome, because you're not alone. I've asked them too. And in fact, I think it's safe to say that nearly every person I've ever worked with has wrestled with this question. So today, we're not aiming for perfection. We're aiming for clarity, for kindness, and for deeper self-trust as we learn how these internal signals speak through the body. So when we really start tuning into the body, this question becomes a turning point for us because the body holds everything. Our memories, our instincts, our joys, our traumas, our intuition, all of these are layered in the same system. And here is a beautiful challenge for us. And that is that intuition and old patterns both speak through the body, but they speak in different dialects. So learning these dialects is what brings us back, or helps to bring us back into congruence. Often we hear one version of intuition, and that's the quiet whisper. And yes, intuition absolutely comes in that way, but there's two distinct voices. One is the quiet intuition that is still and grounded and clear. And then another voice, another form is intuitive alerts, when it's fast, precise, and protective. Both of these are real and both are intuitive, and both are part of the body's way of reading reality. So let's explore each of these today. So let's look at what quiet intuition feels like. It's subtle, but unmistakable. So when I think about this, or when I feel into it, it doesn't push. It doesn't bargain or create a long narrative storyline. It simply reveals something that's true. So let me share a moment from my own life. A moment that taught me in a really deep way what quiet intuition feels like. 18 years ago, I've shared this in a previous episode about the story of my husband's cancer journey. And 18 years ago, when he first received the diagnosis that no one wants to hear, stage 4 cancer, the prognosis wasn't good at the time. There were statistics, there were timelines, and not a lot of hope that was offered at the beginning. And yet the first thing that we did with that diagnosis was go to the forest for processing. The forest where we like to walk and talk and be with the trees. And we just found ourselves there, stepping onto the path, surrounded by trees. They were much older than the fear that we were carrying. And as we walked and talked, something happened in my body that I won't forget. I can feel it now as I share this story with you all. It wasn't denial, and it wasn't me trying to be optimistic, and it didn't feel frantic or forced. It was a really calm, cellular knowing, a really deep, quiet, and steady strength, and a voice within that said, he's going to be okay. This is going to be okay. And there wasn't any drama to this or urgency. It just felt really true, deep down in my bones. And, I confess later I did find a part of myself questioning, was this me being in denial? Was I just trying to be optimistic? But that feeling, I don't know if words are doing it justice, that grounded yet strong calm that entered every cell of my body. It was a really different kind of feeling. It was a really deep knowing. 18 years later, he's cancer-free and very much alive. So that gut, bone deep knowing ended up being truth. He's here. So what did that moment teach me? Intuition isn't loud. It wasn't this loud, booming voice from above. It was just unmistakably grounded. It didn't collapse my awareness. It widened it. So let's look at what intuitive alerts feel like, because that's slightly different, or maybe more than slightly different. That second voice. This one is faster and sharper and more immediate. It speaks the language of instinct, and it shows up like, warnings of danger, a sudden tightening or a quickening of breath, a jolt of awareness, a very clear, pay attention now. Here's an example that captures that feeling. Not too long ago, actually just last week, I was driving and I came to a four-way stop. There were no other cars in sight, and I came to the stop. I'd already come to the stop and it appeared safe to move forward. But I felt a sudden, almost electric urge to wait. There was no visible reason. There was no car in sight. It was just a clean, precise internal signal that said, don't go yet. And within seconds, a car just appeared out of nowhere and shot through the stop sign without stopping. And it was going really fast at speed, well, more than speed, because it was a slow zone and it was going quite fast. Made a sharp turn into the intersection. It definitely would have crashed into me had I gone forward. It wasn't anxiety on my part. It wasn't a trauma pattern. It was intuition ringing the bell ahead of time. So it was fast, but clear. Intuitive alerts don't create chaos. They create focus. They sharpen your awareness rather than overwhelming it. And this is what differentiates them from old patterns. So let's look at what old patterns feel like. Especially ones that are shaped by fear, stress, or unresolved trauma. These feel very different in our body. Even if the physical sensations overlap and are similar, old patterns tend to be more messy, spiraling, overwhelming, kind of an all or nothing feel to them, and urgent in a panicked way. They say things like, something bad is going to happen, or something bad is happening, or fix this right now, or don't trust this, get out. They arrive with feelings of tightness that constricts rather than focuses. Our breathing becomes shallow, maybe buzzing, pressure, or heat. Catastrophic thoughts, and internal collapse of options. Here's a simple example. There have been times when I feel a sudden contraction in my chest, and the thoughts that come are, oh no, something is wrong. And then I go into these narratives, these stories, the what if stories, but then the what ifs become truths that aren't even happening and that aren't true. And even a panicky feeling starts to set in. My breathing becomes shallow. But when I paused and checked in, realizing that this isn't actually happening, this isn't actually about the present moment at all. It was anxiety based on past experience, and something about the current context that I had been in triggered that old memory, and that old memory triggered the physiological response in my body. Kind of like an echo. Well, it was an echo of my physiological response from back then, not from right now. And so my body was speaking, but it was speaking about then, not now. It wasn't about what was actually going on in this moment in time. Old patterns collapse our awareness. Intuition, even if in its loudest moments, expands it. So let's look at 3 ways to tell the difference. Number 1, speed. Quiet intuition is slow, and intuitive alerts are fast, but they're clean. Old patterns are fast, but chaotic. Number 2, we can look at sensation. Intuition in either voice, whether it's slow or whether it's fast, alerts, it feels organized, focused, and present. Old patterns feel messy, overwhelming, and disproportionate. And number 3, story. 3 S's. Speed, sensation, story. Intuition is simple, like a yes, an internal yes, or an internal no, not this, or a pay attention. Patterns come with elaborate narratives, usually the catastrophic kind. Long stories with details and filling in the blanks, and whereas intuition gives information and patterns give fear. So let's try a short guided exercise together. Wherever you are, just allow your body to settle into its natural shape. Whatever you're doing, keep doing what you're doing, but just noticing your body. Feeling gravity underneath you. And allowing your body just to find its honest rhythm. And bring to mind a very small decision. Do I want to rest? Or do I want to go out? Once you have your small decision, just noticing what happens in your body. Is this a yes for me? Is this a no? And simply notice, does your body open or contract? Does your breath stay available or does it tighten just slightly? Does your awareness widen or collapse? You're not choosing just yet. You're just receiving information. Your body is teaching you its language, and you're just listening to the subtle cues and the way that it's teaching you. I want to reassure you that you don't need to get this perfect. We don't always know, is this intuition or is this pattern or is this anxiety? What is this? The importance is to just slow down and pay attention and be curious about how your body is speaking to you. This is a practice, a relationship. You're learning your body's dialects, and your body is learning to trust you back. You're allowed to slow down. Did you hear that? You're allowed to slow down. Clarity rarely comes when we're rushing. Your intuition, even the alert kind, becomes clear when you pause. So here's something to walk with this week. Allow yourself to be curious about the sensations that you notice and ask yourself, does this feel chaotic or does it feel clear? Remembering that chaos belongs to old patterns and clarity, whether soft or sharp, often belongs to intuition. And just notice, that's enough. So I want to thank you all for being here today and for listening with your mind, your heart, and your body. And if something landed for you, or if you recognized yourself in one of these stories, I would love to hear from you. Until next time, take good care of your inner world. Keep listening and keep finding magic in the muck. Thank you. Thank you for being here with me on Magic in the Muck. If today stirred something in you and you're ready to walk this path more deeply, I invite you to join the Soul Compass Circle, a journey of reflection, connection, and soul-aligned living. You don't have to do this alone. Just visit the link in the show notes to step into the circle. I look forward to meeting you there.
I'm Michelle Abraham, founder of the High Vibe Podcast Network, and we're honored to have Jennifer Nagel's show Magic in the Muck as part of our network family. For more inspiring shows like this one, visit highvibepodcastnetwork.com, and don't forget to grab your free gifts from our hosts in the gift fold. Stay high vibe and keep sharing your light.